One of the biggest criticisms about the Sony PlayStation 5, next to its scarcity and difficulty in getting your hands on one, is the lack of onboard storage size. See, it comes with less than 1 terabyte of onboard storage. It's only about 850 gigs of onboard storage out of the box, and a few hundred of that are dedicated towards the system operating files, which means that you are left with barely half a terabyte of storage in your PlayStation 5 for both your PS4 and PS5 games. Now, there are solutions out there where you can go ahead and use an external USB drive for your PS4 saves and your PS4 games. Terrific, but it doesn't do anything for you for your PS5 games. Well, we're here today to walk you through how you can go ahead and make your PS5 onboard storage for PS5 games and storage a little bit larger. Hey everybody, Gary here with Rock Solid Productions. I do appreciate you stopping by and checking out what we have here today. Now, I do have to give a huge shout out to the folks over at Cheap Ass Gamer. If you have not followed them yet on Twitter, please go ahead and do so. They're the ones that alerted me to the sale on the SSD we are going to talk about today. And that is what we are going to talk about today, how to go ahead and expand your onboard storage for the PlayStation 5 by using an onboard SSD. Now, it's one of those things, Sony has designed the system to take solid state drives, but there are only certain ones that it'll work with. They have like an approval sort of list of what drives will work with this versus the PS4 and PS3, where pretty much most any laptop hard drive would work with either of those systems. With the PS5, you need a very specific sort of SSD to go ahead and put in here. Now, we're going to walk you through the steps, how to open your system, how to install this, and how to go ahead and configure your system to recognize it. Now, hopefully you don't need to be an engineer and you don't need to hire any Wookiees to go ahead and install this for you. So let's go ahead, let's hit the workbench, and let's upgrade our storage on our PlayStation 5. Oh, and if you want to see the video for how we actually installed the red faceplates from Mexico, these things are super awesome looking. I'll have that link for you right up there. To go ahead and access where you need to access the SSD, it's actually on the bottom of the system. So we're going to flip it over. Now, these guys here, so these are the Nexigo horizontal stand mounts essentially for this. Works so much better than the stock Sony one. Cannot recommend these highly enough. So we're going to pop those off. So now that we have the feet off, what we need to do is we need to lift these two corners and slide that way. Okay. And now where we're going to be working at is this side here. Now, before we go ahead and dive into that, I actually do have a can of compressed air here. We're just going to blow everything out really quick. Nice, everything looks like it's not too terribly dusty. So again, we're going to work under here. To access this, we're going to need a number 1 Phillips screwdriver. My Tamiya one always works great for this. Now, the one thing that you want to make sure to, don't let this screw here fall into any of the open components underneath. That would be a bad thing. So looking on the inside of the tray here, you have this screw here, which you will put in the appropriate slot depending on the overall length of your SSD. Now, the one that we have here, this is a M2.4 2280 PCIe Gen 4x4 SSD for PCIe 4.0. 3D Nano, okay, anyway, this is just what we wound up getting. Again, thanks to Cheap Ass Gamer for tweeting this out. Now, the one thing on the PS5 is the fact you need to make sure that you have an SSD with some sort of heatsink, like what this has. Looks like it has an adhesive right on the back to apply to the SSD. And that's just a hunk of aluminum is all that is there. We're going to pop out our SSD here. So now that we have our SSD and our heatsink, what I'm going to do is they both have these half moon notches. I'm going to get them kind of eyeballed up here and just make sure that we have everything as it needs to be. And I'm going to use my screwdriver here to kind of align everything. Actually, that's a little bit too large. Let's use the screw. How's that sound? Aha! Ho ho hee hee ha ha hoo hoo. we go. Just kind of press it down and into place. And now we're ready to install it into our system after one other minor thing that we're going to do here is we're going to unscrew this retainer screw. Let's try to. That seems like it's a little bit smaller. So what we're going to do, we're going to come in here, we're going to remove the screw. It's going to hold down our SSD once it's in there. Maybe. There we go. That was actually a pretty tight fit. I was not expecting that. And I'm going to come in here with a set of tweezers just to grab the screw and the washer out. I need to back the screw out a little bit further. I can use my Tamiya screwdriver for that. Now that's loosened up. And now we're going to come in with our SSD, snap it into place, kind of push it down, and then the last thing we have to do is just put our screw and spacer back in. Looks like it's going to be at the 80mm slot. Push that back down, get our screw into place. Overall, a pretty simple and straightforward sort of installation, maybe. There we go. You don't have to torque that down. There you see everything is in place. Now we're going to reinstall our cover plate here. Make sure that you put the tabbed end in here first. That way you're not finding this. There we go. Put that screw back in. Same sort of thing here. We're not trying to go super torquey on it. Just tighten it down so that it's tight. Once you feel your resistance, go ahead and stop. And now we're ready to reinstall our lower cover. Get everything kind of lined up. Snap it back into place. Let's go ahead, let's hook this up and see what our system looks like now. To use your M2 SSD, you need to format it. When you format your M2 SSD, all data will be deleted. If you want to continue using your PS5 without formatting your M2 SSD, turn off your PS5 and then remove your M2 SSD. Note that saved data, screenshots, and video clips can't be saved in the M2 SSD storage. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to format the M2 SSD. The read speeds of your M2 SSD are as follows. If you experience problems while playing a game, try installing it again. So there's my read speed. It's been formatted to change where your games are installed. Go to Settings, Storage, Installation Location. I'll show you how to do that here in a second. Console storage, USB extended storage. And I don't know why it's showing the USB drive up top. That's odd. So games and apps. Console storage, we're going to move some games and apps. So let's see what we can move over, because as you saw, I've got 500 gigs plus over on the hard drive on the system itself. Miles Morales can get moved, Spider-Man Remastered, what else? I'm going to move quite a bit over. MLB The Show, Rocky Knight. So let's move Ratchet and Clank over. So select items to move. And then we're going to move that to M2 SSD. Let's see how long it says it will take to do that. Holy cow. It's moving over 30 gigs of data. It's already moved 10 gigs. Holy crap. That's stupid how fast that is. That's terrific. I can't believe how quickly that moved 33 gigs of data. Look at that. Wow, that was quick. Let's move Miles Morales and Spider-Man. And what else can we move? I should just delete Ignition. That's such a terrible game. Okay, we're going to move 92 gigs now. Minute and a half to move almost 100 gigs of data. That is phenomenal. Absolutely wonderful. I am loving life right now with the way that this is able to move data back and forth from the console to my new SSD. This is terrific. So while not quite as easy as just plugging in a micro SD card or plugging something into a USB port, I have to admit, hooking up an SSD into my PlayStation 5, super easy. I didn't need to call in any Wookiees. I didn't need an engineering background to be able to do it. This was a pretty easy thing to go ahead and do. Probably the most challenging part of it in all was getting the shell off of the PS5. Once you're inside the system, it's pretty much ready to rock and roll for you. And as you can see here, I have now a ton of storage that I can access with my system. I can put a ton of games on here without having to delete and re-download. It's just annoying to have to do that. I really wish, and I hope in the future, this is something that Sony addresses later on down the road with a hardware revision. Under a terabyte with today's systems, not enough. Plain and simple. And again, I do want to thank Cheap Ass Gamer for tweeting out the information on the XPG GameX S70 Blade 1 terabyte and some of the other SSDs that they did focus on there too. Now, if you want to pick one of these up, I will have a link down below in a pinned comment where you can go ahead and check these out for you. For just over $100, not a bad deal at all. And well, I do think Microsoft, and I'm going to pay Microsoft a compliment here, their way of adding storage to the Xbox Series S and Series X, a lot easier and more elegant. A hell of a lot more expensive though. There is that. Where that's what's nice about going this route is the fact that you have more devices that you can go ahead and use, more options out there so that you can go ahead and expand your storage for less cost. Now, I kind of wish I would have gone with the 2 terabyte as easy as this was, but you know, I may go ahead and keep this as is for now. And at the same time, I may pick up one of these for my laptop as well because that needs more storage in it too. But let me know what you think about this down below in the comment section. Now, if you are looking for other information on accessories that we've reviewed for the Sony PlayStation 5 or P5 as it's been called in some instances, our unboxing, initial setup, how to invert the camera controls. Those videos are coming up for you right now. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you want to help support Rocksolid Productions and be a part of our community, there's a number of different ways you can do so. First and foremost, join us over on our Patreon page or become a channel member here on YouTube. By joining through either one of those methods, you get early access to just about all of our video content, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. We also give you shout outs at the end of each and every one of our videos. You can also pick up some awesome Rocksolid Productions swag. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and more available through our Teespring store on screen right now too. You can also pick up some of our awesome 3D printed cartridge stands, Amiibo holders, Nintendo DS holders, and more by visiting our 3D printer store on screen right now as well. Links for everything will be down below in a pinned comment. If you want to stay up to date with everything we have going on here at Rocksolid Productions, make sure that you're following us on the different social media networks. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/RockSolidProductions, Instagram at instagram.com/RockSolidProductionsGK, and Twitter at Rocksolid Studios. If you're looking to pick this and other retro and modern gaming accessories up, make sure that you head on over to CastlemaniaGames.com. He has a feature over there called Castle Cash, where the more you spend, the more you earn towards future purchases, and Castle Cash is just like cash. He also offers convenient payment plans for more expensive items over $50. Finally, make sure that you use promo code ROCKSOLID10 when you're shopping at CastlemaniaGames.com, as it can save you up to 10% on most items on the website. Again, thank you for watching this episode, and I cannot wait to see you again soon.